I wired over $6,400 to help pay for my brother's baby shower, figured it was a kind thing to do. Then out of nowhere, I got a message, +1 not approved. Just send gifts. And right after that, my mom chimed in with something that hit a little deeper than usual. She wrote, "You can't afford a real family, so you try to buy us." I just chuckled to myself. Fair point, I thought. That's when I made a quiet decision. I started pulling the plug on all the bills and payments I'd been covering for years: tuition, rent, car notes. I turned off the money tap without a single word. Later that night, around 10:34 p.m., I was folding laundry when my phone buzzed. I looked down and saw a message from our baby shower group chat: me, my mom, my brother Sean, and his fiancée, Brooke. The message simply read, +1 not approved. Just send gifts. I stared at it, not really understanding at first. Then another message popped up right under it, this one from Mom: "You can't afford real family, so you buy us." It didn't hit me with anger or sadness. Not this time. It felt more like someone turned off a radio. Their voices went fuzzy, their importance faded. All I could think about was that number, $6,400. That's how much I'd shelled out in the last month alone. I paid for everything from party favors to the venue and catering, anything Sean or Brooke hinted they needed. I even covered the down payment on the event space, since they claimed money was tight. I remembered Sean's voice on the phone, smooth as ever. "You've got a good job." It would mean a lot to Brooke. A good job. They had no idea what that job cost me. I worked 60-hour weeks managing a logistics team. It was exhausting, but the paycheck was solid. I had been silently helping out for years. My parents' rent? Covered it. Brooke's student debt? That was on me. Even Sean's Jeep? Yep, monthly payments taken care of. But this moment felt different. That message didn't just hurt, it opened my eyes. I smiled, for real this time. A quiet, knowing kind of smile. "Fair enough," I muttered under my breath. I left the laundry on the couch and walked over to my desk. Opened my laptop. I started pulling up all my accounts, my banking app, PayPal, everything tied to automatic payments. One by one, I cut the cords. Click. Stopped paying the condo rent. Click. Cancelled Brooke's loan payments. Click. Discontinued Sean's car bill. With each confirmation, I felt lighter. Like a weight I didn't know I was carrying had been lifted. Then I sent one final message to the group: "Got it. I'll just send gifts." Nothing came back. Dead silence. That night, I went to bed early and slept like a rock, better than I had in years. By 7:15 the next morning, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. 22 missed calls. 11 unread messages. Our family chat had turned into a full-blown disaster. Your dad's landlord called. Rent didn't go through. Sean's car payments late. Brooke's student loan just flagged as delinquent. I didn't open a single one. I just sipped my coffee and looked out the window at the calm, blue sky. I knew they would call. They always did. At 7:30, the front door camera blinked to life. Dad's car pulled into my driveway. He didn't even knock, just started pounding on the door like it was urgent. I stayed put. Sat there sipping my coffee while the knocking echoed through the house. I didn't move. I didn't feel like I owed them anything anymore. The silence that followed felt almost holy. For the first time in years, I wasn't being dragged down by constant emergency texts or begging phone calls. I thought maybe, just maybe, I'd finally stepped out of the endless quicksand of family debt. But as I moved around my small apartment, the quiet brought something else with it: memories. It all started when I was just 20. I had landed my first real job, finally feeling like an adult. That was when Dad called. His voice was tight, but hopeful. "Your mom's medicine is just too expensive. We're barely scraping by." Without hesitating, I sent them $500. That was the beginning. The first lifeline. Then Brooke called. She had just started college and said her student loans didn't cover enough. Her voice shook when she promised, "I'll pay you back. I just need to make it through this semester." But the semesters never stopped, and the repayments never came. I kept covering the gaps. Next came the Jeep for Sean. I paid the down payment because he said he needed a car for work. 3 months later, he quit the job. The Jeep? Still his. Then there was the condo my parents called their dream home. After Dad's business went under, a failure he never even told me about, I stepped in and covered the mortgage. Month after month, the payments quietly left my account. They never said thank you. At best, I'd get a short message, "You paid, right?" Like I was some sort of unpaid accountant. My inbox became a filing cabinet of cries for help: Sean's car repairs, Brooke's overdue tuition, Mom's rising medication costs. Gratitude? Not a trace. Just assumption. Like it was my duty. But it wasn't just the money, it was the little things, the stuff that left deep cuts. I remember Brooke's birthday party. Mom planned it. I footed the entire bill: decorations, the food, even a custom cake with "Best Sister Ever" written in pink frosting. The photos were all over social media. Perfect family day, the captions read. No mention of me. When I asked Brooke why, she shrugged. Well, you weren't really there. You're always working. And then there was Dad's retirement. After 35 years in sales, I decided to go all out. I bought him the luxury sport utility vehicle he always dreamed about. At dinner, I gave a little speech, handed over the keys. He raised his glass, smirked, and said, "Let's toast my son who thinks buying a car will finally earn my respect." Everyone laughed. I didn't say a word. Just smiled and left early. I never took the car back. Told myself it didn't matter. But deep down, it did. What really hurt, though, were the everyday betrayals, the casual jabs that added up over time. Like when Brooke posted a picture of her new handbag with the caption, "When you know how to hustle." I bought that bag for her after she cried about not having nice things. Or when Sean bragged to his buddies about his side gig, acting like he built it from the ground up. I gave him the startup cash. And Mom, posting vacation photos from trips I paid for, captioned, "Family is everything." Everything except me. And when I finally tried to set boundaries, that is when the masks came off. There was no pleading. Only guilt and anger. Dad barked over the phone, "You think you're better than us? You only have that job because we made sacrifices." Brooke rolled her eyes and said, "Oh, poor you. A big-time manager. Do you want a medal?" That was Sean's favorite comeback. Anytime I brought up how much I'd helped, he'd hit me with that smug little line. "Money doesn't make you family, bro." And yet, it was always about the money. The one thing they begged for, demanded, expected, but never appreciated. That text wouldn't leave my mind: "You can't afford real family, so you buy us." No. I didn't buy anyone. I was used. Exploited. They latched onto my generosity like leeches. And the worst part? I wasn't even angry at first. Just ashamed. Ashamed that I let it go on for so long. Ashamed that I believed this was how families worked. Ashamed that I bent over backward, shaped my entire life around their needs, just to be called family. But I was done with that. Especially now. Since cutting them off, I'd been remembering everything. And not just emotionally, I was digging up evidence. I opened my laptop and pulled up old bank records, PayPal transfers, texts going back years. There it all was, plain as day. A history of being drained dry. Then a ping from my phone. A social media post from Brooke. Some people forget who their real family is once they get a little money. It's sad. And like clockwork, the comments poured in. "You deserve better, Brooke. Some folks are just selfish." I stared at the screen, jaw tight. I wanted to reply, God, I almost did. But then I paused. If they wanted to make this public, they weren't the only ones who could play that game. So I got to work. I started taking screenshots, saving posts, archiving texts, forwarding key messages to myself. I made a folder. This wasn't just reminiscing anymore. This was a record. A defense. A counterattack. And they had no idea. 2 full days went by. Not a single call. No texts. Nothing but a heavy, creeping quiet. Then came today. I was halfway through a tough workout at the gym. Hands gripping the cold iron bar, muscles on fire, sweat dripping down my face. In that moment, pushing weight felt like pushing the past off me. I was focused. Free. Until I heard voices. Sharp. Angry. Familiar. There he is. I dropped the barbell with a loud crash, turned around, and froze. They were standing there. All of them. Mom, crying like her world was ending, clutching her purse like it was her last possession. Dad, red with rage, fists clenched at his sides. Brooke, eyes wild and makeup smeared, like she hadn't slept. And Sean, arms crossed, wearing that same look he always did, like I was a problem to be solved. The whole gym went quiet. A woman on the treadmill yanked out her earbuds. A trainer leaned against the wall, eyes wide. Are you happy now? Brooke's voice cut through the silence like a blade. We're suffering because of you. I let out a sharp laugh. Suffering? I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped funding your circus. Dad's voice boomed so loud I felt it in my bones. We're your family. You don't just walk away from family. I didn't walk away, I said, wiping sweat from my forehead. I just stopped letting you ride on my back. Gasps rippled across the gym. Someone whispered, "What's going on?" Another person started recording on their phone. Stop being so dramatic. Mom cried, voice cracking. All we ever did was love you. Love? I took a step toward them, the heat building under my skin. Was that love when you guilt me into paying rent? When you lied about tuition? When you posted family vacation pics and cropped me out because I was just the wallet? Stop acting like you're the victim. Brooke snapped. You never cared about us. I laughed again, louder this time. No, Brooke. I'm free. Free from your lies. Your whining. Your manipulation. You wanted my money, not me. Dad stormed forward, jabbing his finger into my chest. You never respected this family. But before I could react, the trainer stepped in. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Oh, of course. Dad turned to the growing crowd. You see this? Look how he treats us. He's always thought he was better than his own flesh and blood. A woman near the squat rack shook her head. This is insane. Brooke's voice cracked with desperation. You think this makes you powerful? You're just a miserable man with no real family. That's when I pulled out my phone and smiled. Let's talk about family. I opened my gallery and tapped on a video. The audio played loud and clear for everyone to hear. Don't worry. I'll get him to pay for it. He's naive. Always has been. We'll just say it's for school. He never checks. Brooke's voice. Crystal clear. Her face turned ghost white. Mom gasped, covering her mouth. Dad looked ready to explode. I held the phone out. I've got the receipts. Texts, bank records, voice messages. I've got everything. If you want to keep this up, I'm ready. You liar. Brooke screamed and lunged, but Sean caught her, holding her back. Liar? I raised my voice so everyone could hear. I was your ATM. Your personal piggy bank. None of you cared if I was even present, as long as the money was. I'll sue you. Dad spat, his face red with fury. I'll ruin you. I stepped closer, voice steady, cold. Go ahead. But I'm done. No more handouts. No more lies. I don't owe you anything. Mom collapsed onto a bench, sobbing. You're destroying your own family. No, I whispered, turning away. I'm saving myself. I walked toward the exit. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text. Unknown number. That was wild. I got it all on video. Want me to send it? I smiled. Send it. The real story was just getting started. The lawyer's office was colder than I expected. Sterile. Clinical. The kind of place where decisions carry weight. I sat across from Mr. Graham, a veteran attorney with silver hair and a face like carved stone. He flipped through the file I handed him, bank statements, screen captures, transcripts of texts. Years of my life, boiled down to paperwork. After a long moment, he leaned back and folded his hands. I've seen scams. I've seen fraud. But this, he shook his head. This is your own family treating you like an ATM. I want every dollar back, I said, voice steady. All of it. He narrowed his eyes, nodding slowly. With what you've brought in, we can pursue them for unjust enrichment. Possibly fraud. They took your money under false pretenses. Manipulated me, I said softly. Exactly, he replied. Manipulation disguised as family obligation. 2 days later, the first official letters went out. Demands for repayment. Every cent was calculated, every lie documented. 12 grand in rent payments. That was just the beginning. 16.5 grand supposed to be for Brooke's student loans. Not a dime of it went to school. 8,000 for Sean's Jeep, the one he now drove around like a trash can on wheels, dented, scratched, never fixed. Another 6,400 for a baby shower that looked more like a sponsored event. Altogether, $42,900. But this wasn't just about the money anymore. It was about reclaiming everything they'd stolen from me bit by bit, year by year. The panic didn't take long. Within 2 days, Mom called. Sweetheart, I just got this letter. What does this mean? Are you serious? You can't be serious. I'm dead serious, Mom, I said, voice calm like a still lake. You've got 30 days to return everything you took. After that, we settle this in court. Her voice cracked, panic rising. Court? Court? We're family. No, Mom, I said, barely above a whisper. I didn't do this to you. I just stopped letting you do it to me. Next came Dad. He didn't beg. He exploded. You ungrateful brat. After everything we did for you. I laughed, dry and bitter. Name one thing you did for me that wasn't about what you could get out of it. He tried, failed, then just hung there in silence. I didn't wait. I ended the call. Brooke sent a flood of texts. Half angry, half falling apart. You're ruining my life. You selfish piece of. I've got the receipts, I texted back. Literally. Try me. By week's end, their panic turned into pure chaos. They ignored the first letter, thinking I'd fold. But then the second letter came, official pre-litigation paperwork. That's when the walls started to crack. Mom called again, crying this time. Please, honey, let's talk. We can explain. It's not what it looked like. It looked like you used me, I cut in. And now? You pay me back. You want to destroy us over money, she sobbed. What kind of son does that? I didn't blink. Not a son. A victim. But not anymore. Then Dad tried a different angle. Calm. Businesslike. Look, you're a smart guy, right? We can work something out. We'll apologize. I don't want an apology, I said. I want my money. That's when things got real. Sean put his Jeep up for sale, cheap, quick turnaround, no offer too low. Brooke picked up back-to-back shifts at the bar she once mocked me for working at in college. Dad tried to refinance the condo, but with their credit? Without me? Useless. And I just stayed quiet and watched. They never saved. Never prepared. Just assumed I'd always be the safety net. Then came the message from their lawyer, a plea for mediation. They wanted to settle. Not because they cared about fairness. No. They were scared of what a public court case would do to their image. I agreed, but on my terms. The mediation room felt like a battleground. Mom looked wrecked. Dad stared at the table like it was gonna bite him. Brooke sat rigid, eyes sharp and bloodshot. Sean didn't even show. Their lawyer broke the silence. My clients are prepared to offer $10,000 in good faith to settle this matter. I almost choked. 10 grand? You owe me over 42. Brooke slammed her hand on the table. You're ruining our lives. We're your family. Family? I leaned in, voice low and steady. Family doesn't lie. Family doesn't rob you with a smile. Family doesn't make you feel worthless unless you're paying for something. Dad finally lifted his head. You think you're better than us, huh? Better to be alone, I said, than drained dry by my own blood. Their lawyer tried to cut in. Let's keep things civil. No, I said. This is civil. You owe me $42,900. Every penny. Dad's knuckles went white. You won't see a cent. I slid a paper across the table. Then we go to court. And everyone sees exactly who you really are. Silence hit the room like a gust of wind. The lawyer leaned in, whispering to them. Mom's shoulders sagged. Brooke's glare could have cut glass. Dad just looked small. Worn. Like the truth finally caught up with him. They signed. Full repayment. Monthly installments. One missed payment, and I could seize their assets. On the way out, Brooke hissed through gritted teeth, "We can't believe you'd do this to your own family." I didn't say anything at first. I just smiled. 2 weeks later, I got a notification, $2000 transferred. Small drop in the ocean. But it was a start. They kept trying to reach me in calls, texts, voicemails. I didn't answer. I had a new number, scrubbed them off social media, and watched from a safe distance as their world started crumbling. What once was a power play turned into a public meltdown. Brooke went online, crying about toxic people and betrayal. Dad ranted about fake family and how blood didn't mean loyalty anymore. Mom? She started posting Bible verses about forgiveness, hoping someone would buy the act. But I didn't reply. Didn't even flinch. Because this wasn't just about getting my money back anymore. It was about getting me back. And with each payment they sent, I could feel the difference. The pressure in my chest loosening. The knots in my stomach finally starting to untie. They sold me out for years, bit by bit, lie by lie. Now they were paying for it. My apartment didn't change. Same old furniture. Same scuffed up floors. But somehow, it felt brand new. Quieter. Lighter. No more guilt-laced messages. No more emotional blackmail. The silence? It was addicting. Like finally getting a full breath of air after years of choking. I catch myself smiling for no reason. No audience. No mask. Just peace. I walked to the gym without dragging their voices behind me. Lifted weights without their judgment echoing in my head. I ran until my lungs screamed, but this time, the burn felt clean. Not shame. Not self-hate. Just effort. Every month, like clockwork, a notification popped up, another payment. Another reminder that they were no longer in control. And they never missed one. They couldn't. If they slipped, I had legal authority to come down hard. At first, they tried sneaking messages into the payment notes. This isn't fair. We're still family. How could you do this to us? I ignored every one. They'd spent years treating me like an ATM. Now they could deal with automated silence. Then one rainy Thursday, another deposit hit my account. $2,000. No message this time. Nothing. They had run out of excuses. Run out of guilt. Run out of me. I deleted the notification without a second glance. And for the first time in years, the city felt alive. Like I was seeing it with new eyes. I strolled down streets I used to rush through. Sat in little parks I'd never noticed before. Tried coffee shops that didn't have a drive-thru. I even enrolled in a coding course, something I'd always wanted but never had the freedom to pursue. Not when my time and money belonged to everyone but me. One Saturday afternoon, I was sipping coffee in a small cafe when someone tapped me on the shoulder. It was Mark, an old friend I hadn't seen since college. "Man," he said, looking me up and down. "You look different. Happy, even. What happened?" I smiled. I stopped paying for people who never gave a damn about me. He laughed. "Damn. That's cold." "No," I said, sipping my drink. "That's freedom." That night, I logged into the old bank account, the one they used like their personal piggy bank. I stared at the screen for a minute, then clicked Close Account. A warning popped up. "Are you sure? This action is irreversible." Yes. I was sure. One click, and it was done. Clean slate. Fresh start. I grabbed my jacket, stepped out into the cool night air. The streets were slick with rain, city lights glowing off the pavement. I found another little cafe and ordered a cappuccino. Sat by the window. Watched the water trail down the glass. Outside, people laughed. Couples held hands. Life just moved on. And so did I. I didn't lose a family. I lost a weight I was never meant to carry. And I wasn't going back. Still, sometimes, when it's quiet and the world's asleep, I catch myself wondering. Was there a version of this where we didn't fall apart? Where I could have saved us? But deep down, I know the truth. Letting go was the only way to save me.